You're Near the Wild with Mat Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska.
All right, welcome to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Mat Becker.
I'm John Norris.
And I'm Greg Chaille.
We did it first this time instead of last.
Oh.
Change it up, right? We might do it in the middle.
I have the saddest news ever today.
Oh, no.
I mean, an icon in our society has died.
Who's that?
Jake from State Farm, our praying mantis.
No.
Oh.
He died last night at 7:41.
It's official? Is that what's on the death certificate?
Yeah. No, I mean, I was there for the whole thing. He was doing... what happened was that Jake was actually a lady because Jake started having eggs. And then I read about it and said, oh, he's making eggs. And I go, only a few of the 2,000 different kinds of praying mantis can actually self-impregnate.
So it's male and female.
But the problem with the internet, you can keep reading about it while he's laying there pumping out eggs. So as I continue to read, it says a lot of times right before they die, they dump the eggs hoping they'll be fertilized. And I looked at the dogs and said, anybody want to do this? And they were like, no. Yeah, nothing. So
you were holding Jake's little praying mantis claw until the life left his giant eyes.
Yes, he died in a most horrific way, but just he was on a wet paper towel looking up at me. So
That's how he wanted to go, though.
He died doing what he loved.
A moist towelette.
Staring at you?
Well, he has really dramatic eyes, and I have some close-up pictures. I do those micro pictures of bugs. I have a picture of his death rattle, I think. Because, I mean, I thought he was dead, and so I wrote the official time down, and then he moved, and then I went, well, you know how a corpse can still move.
Yeah.
Then I saw his little shallow breathing in his belly because it's huge now. I mean, without the babies, but yeah, it just was going. So I went, oh, he's still alive. And so then that's why I got the official time. And then gurgly stuff came out of his mouth.
And so you were taking pictures instead of just living in the moment?
Or rescuing?
Well, wasn't like I was taking a selfie. I mean, I was offering all the medical care I could do. The internet doesn't really cover what to do.
There's no like WebMD for your sick praying mantis?
No, it's actually, there isn't a lot of information. They give you little piecemeal of stuff like that. You think there'd be a lot more. Like, I just want to know what it looks like when they have babies. They show the cocoon when they make the babies, and they show how they mate. There's a lot of humping praying mantis, but there was nothing on what the eggs look like. One picture out of 2,000 pictures on the internet of the babies, what they look like when they pop out the side.
Well, I feel like you have as much experience as anybody else, so it's time you wrote the book.
I think I'm the new authority.
The ebook on praying mantis.
But he was within 3 weeks of living a year, which is their lifespan. So I think we did pretty good.
So he's a year old almost?
Yeah, he was 3 weeks from a year. And we have pictures when he was a baby, when he first hatched. We took him to the bar. Remember, we took him to the bar in that little container. And we also, Becky would sit up at night and feed him beer. And he would sit on top of this little bottle and drink beer.
Do you think maybe that renegade lifestyle did him in 3 days early?
I think, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, he wasn't smoking or really that much.
But I think Jake had the philosophy, though, that life is for the living. So why play it safe?
I would buy him live crickets. And as he got older, I didn't take into account that the only crickets I could get the last week were the big ones. They had large, they didn't, the small. They go, we're out of smalls. Is that a problem? I go, well, he's bigger now, so I guess it'll work. What I didn't realize is it's like giving an 8-year-old man a live chicken to eat. He couldn't catch it. And I kept trying to cripple the chicken. And so the crickets were getting sicker and sicker. And once they die, he won't eat it. So he's like going, it's dead, dude. Give me another one. So I give him another one and run around and jump on his head and take off. And he would make these ill-fated swings at it like
like an old boxer who just can't connect.
Exactly. That's it. Was like, oh
Big
my God.
Whiffs.
But he's still got the power. So if he gets one hit in, it's over.
Oh, Oh, and I mean, I tricked him a couple times, I think. So,
well,
but he would tear him into him. He would just drill a hole right in him. Becky goes, he'd kill you if he could. I go, I don't care. He's my pet. Shut up.
I wouldn't have got close to him. He's got a look in those eyes. Those triangle beady eyes. Or your triangle head with the eyes on the ends, right?
But it almost seemed like Prison Guard and Prisoner. Like I knew he was gonna die in his cage, but the thing is we had a relationship and we'd sit up at night and talk, and it was interesting.
You knew it was. I mean, his hatred for you was nature, not nurture. So
no, and I mean, but I also fed him. That was pretty good of me.
But I mean, he basically was on the Green Mile this last day.
It was exactly what it was. Yeah. And then he did that thing where the bugs came out of his mouth.
Boss, give me your hands. Give me your hands, boss. Give me your hands.
Yeah.
No way, Jake.
Hey, dude, he scared my hernia. That's all I can say. Hernia is gone, and good luck to you, I say.
And I see colors more vividly. Well, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Jake. Yes. State Farm.
Now I'm going to go retire on a beach in Mexico. Oh, wait, that was Shawshank Redemption. Never mind.
You see the press on the Shawshank? It was out late last week. They were talking about how that movie, when it came out, it really didn't do well. But, I mean, it was against, like, Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of chicks in it.
Exactly, and that was the thing. It was like it just wasn't set up right. But at the same time, this is like this juggernaut moneymaker that, for 20-some years now is just still bringing in residuals for all the guys in it.
It was like one of the biggest movies ever on DVD.
Yeah, and that was the thing. The VHS and DVD were still going strong when it came out, and that dispersed people finding out about it after the fact. And then the big thing that helped was Turner Broadcasting basically put it on every minute of the day they still do. It's on quite a bit. But that's one of those movies that Brian Hennigan, Stanhope's manager, was saying. That's one of the movies that's his favorite movie. And he said that's a movie that when you come across it, you stop and watch it. From what point it's in, you can kind of catch up and get into it. I mean, I know that's true for me. That's one
It's a Wonderful Life.
Same thing, yes.
I watch that movie if I come in the middle of the night and it's on TNT and there's 15 minutes commercials between each 2-minute segment, I'll still watch it.
I've noticed that they haven't been playing that one as much on the holidays. The last couple years.
They just play it like once. I think like it's for the people that grew up watching it every year. They play it like once or twice during the holidays, and then they're like, eventually, everybody who grew up watching it's going to die. And we don't have to show it anymore.
Well, what happened was it became public domain because they let the rights to it lapse, and that's why it was played so much because nobody had to pay anything.
Oh.
And it was 3 hours long. So they go, it's 3 hours of ad time. We don't have to pay a dime.
It's like that Night of the Living Dead. Wasn't it the same thing? They didn't secure the rights in the 70s?
Yeah, now it's public domain.
Now it's public domain. You can show that movie anytime, anywhere.
But we have to look it up because I think somebody somehow registered again. So now it's not public domain anymore.
No,
I don't know.
I think it still is. They tried to, but they couldn't.
Once the toothpaste is out of the tube, I know.
And so I used to run this classic movie program at a theater here, and we'd have to pay the licensing fees. And it was the worst because you deal with these like distributors, licensing distributors, and you just send them money, and then they're like, "All right, cool, show it," but you never get like a receipt or anything. So it's always like, "Did I just send some like random guy money?" And he's just like, "Yeah, just do whatever you want."
That is a great scam.
It's definitely a scam.
Don't worry, you're covered, dude.
So now I run the secret Anchorage Secret Cinema Club, and we avoid that by showing like a surprise movie, so nobody knows what it's going to be until they come and we start the movie, and that works out pretty well. I think it's probably not any more legal than announcing what it's going to be, but it feels like it's sneakier.
Are you going to announce your summer solstice plan?
I am. We are doing a summer solstice drive-in movie. So on the longest day of the year, we're gonna have an outdoor movie.
Goddamn brilliant!
Could be a disaster. I don't know, but
no, I don't.
I think
how
it'll
could it
be
be
good.
A disaster? People are already outside.
Where are you gonna do it, John?
I'm looking at a few places. I'm trying to find an east-facing wall, and so there's a place called Anchorage Community Works down in Ship Creek, and they have a big like empty parking lot, and they shouldn't have any problems with like noise complaints or anything down there. So that's kind of my front runner if I can get them to agree to it.
I mean, if you're doing a drive-in, how are you going to get that many cars? It's got to be a big lot, right?
It's a pretty big lot.
Have you ever been to a drive-in?
I have been to a drive-in.
All right. I didn't know if you did. Oh, wait. You grew up in California a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, California, and
Yeah.
I went to an awesome one in New Mexico when my dad's family is from there, so we went and visited when I was like 14. We went to this awesome drive-in. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't going to be quite that scale yet. Someday, Anchorage used to have a drive-in called Midnight Sun Drive-In, where the Fireweed Theater used to be.
It burned down.
It was a massive drive-in.
Yeah, the last one I went to was the one in La Habra, right on Imperial. That was the last one I remember.
There used to be one in there?
Yeah, La Habra Drive-In was huge in that area. I think there's still one out in, out towards La Mirada or City of Industry or something like that off the 5 freeway. But they use it. I don't even know if they show movies there anymore. It's a huge swap meet on Saturdays and Sundays. But I can't remember the last time I saw something on a marquee that other than swap meet this Friday.
Yeah, they've had a hard time with just everybody being able to watch movies. But now the technology is even better. Because remember when you used to have the speaker that you hung on your window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are even hard to find now.
No, I know where to get them.
Get me one.
I was going to get you one.
Give me 20 of them.
Jesus. I knew I should. Well, they want like $40 a piece for them, but they're the actual, that gunmetal gray. And
right.
This guy has a shop. We were in Omaha, Nebraska, coming back from Iowa last week. And then we get to this one place that is just this huge corner candy shop. And then he's got a museum inside there as well and a 25-seat theater that you can rent out. And out in front of the theater is a pink Cadillac. And in the back of the pink Cadillac, it's full of those speakers.
That is amazing.
Omaha, the gem of the Midwest.
Well, that's what it was. I had zero expectations of downtown Omaha.
And they blew my mind.
Yeah.
So,
is that John? I mean, let's think this out. How are you gonna do for audio?
Can't you come up with a Bluetooth way to do it so they can listen to it on their phones?
Oh, do it through the radio. That's radio.
What I'm trying to do. I've got a radio engineer guy I work with he said he has an FM transmitter that should be powerful enough to get like 150 feet.
Yeah.
The problem is
they got to leave their cars on.
Anchorage has such a crammed radio dial.
Yeah.
It's hard to find an open signal, but
it's worth trying. You go to one end or the other, and wait, didn't the end get off of 88.7 though?
Maybe
that was low. That was the lowest part of the. Well, you know what? Only like 1/3 of the cars actually can get that anyway.
And my other idea was to just rip the audio from the movie and have everyone download it and play it over their phone. But that would involve everybody pressing play at the same time, and I'm not sure we can coordinate that.
I don't see why you couldn't.
I could have something on the screen that says that countdown 3, 2, 1, go. But then there's, half the people are going to mess up and be like, hey, can we do that again?
Then you'll need a text service.
You're creating a nightmare.
Text service going car to car.
Have you ever considered a silent film?
Ooh.
Just get a little Keystone Coppers.
Give everyone kazoos.
Big
they
city
could do their own
lights,
accompaniment.
Get a live band, live orchestra in a parking lot.
Oh, how cool would that be?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So there are some technical issues, but I think it's gonna, I got a projector lined up, and I'm, I got this parking lot that hopefully I'm gonna find a way to make that work out, and then just audio, and then I think we're good.
That's great. You got a popcorn machine?
I'm actually gonna go to the Alaska Popcorn Company and see if they want to sponsor it.
Just get them out there, popcorn.
That's brilliant. And a cotton candy guy. You got to get a cotton candy guy.
Yeah, cotton candy people, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you are. Just give me a call.
So what movie?
I've got a movie, but I can't say it.
Okay.
I can't say it yet.
No, I get
It's gonna be sun related though.
Okay.
It's astronomically related.
All right. Whatever that means.
Is it sci-fi?
It is.
Oh, excellent.
Right.
I'm thinking it's not now. Is it War of the Gargantuas? Just tell me.
Oh, I wish.
Okay.
Sunshine Cleaners?
Nailed it.
Damn it.
Second guess. Becker, you're brilliant.
Yeah, and the other thing is we got going on here is fires.
Yeah, we got a huge fire.
The state of Alaska is on fire.
Well, they just had the huge, like San Diego and Southern California was basically
they've been making the news, but we're the real fire. If you took both theirs and put them together, they're not our fire.
Alaska's bigger. Is that what you're trying to
No,
say?
what I'm trying to tell you is that they've used the analogy. It's as big as Seattle and apparently all the suburbs, or now they're saying it's as big as Chicago, which no one knows the size of any of these cities. So
It
I
sounds
don't
big
know.
though.
It's getting as big as Paris.
So it's the Funny River Fire. And if I have to read one more news article where they say the not so funny River Fire, I'm gonna flip out. I'm gonna send an angry letter to the editor.
Newscaster sense of humor right there.
Can't really chuckle though, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
But it's a big deal. It's Anchorage is still pretty hazy.
Yeah, Becker was saying that while we were waiting for you to clip on here. There was ash and visible ash on the streets and stuff.
Yeah. And but it started raining yesterday. And it's overcast and sprinkling today, so hopefully it's helping out.
Does that really help out though?
I don't know. I don't really know how forest fires work. I assume
it has to be really strong rain because we're getting drizzle right now. But if the winds pick up, then they're in trouble.
Yeah, it's like the
But
Santa
it
Ana
jumped the
conditions.
Kenai River, so
Did it really?
yeah.
Wow.
You guys ever see that movie Fire Jumpers with Howie Long when he's just jumping into forest fires with an axe?
Just not even a parachute, just an axe. Doesn't he know?
Just an axe. Maybe he has a parachute. I
Okay.
skipped that part, but he just jumps in a fire with an axe, and then I think somebody stole a bunch of money, and he has to. So he's trying to fight a fire and solve some sort of like heist.
While fighting the fire?
Yeah.
The smoke jumpers today, they had a little clip from the news that a group of them found a wolf den, and they're little baby wolves that were abandoned because the mom took off, because that's what they do in Alaska when there's a fire. And so these guys
or the
dug the
bingo
little
parlor's
wolves.
open.
They dug the little wolves out, and then you get all these guys covered in soot, and they're all playing with the wolves, and they're drinking sugar water because apparently not the firemen, but the wolves, and they're like, oh, we knew they were gonna die, we left them in, and that's gonna make national news, and then you're gonna hear about our fire because we saved 4 little wolves, but they're cutest little fuckers you've ever seen in your life.
It's like the ducks that they squirted with Dawn dishwashing detergent. You need some kind of face of the tragedy, whether it be
Nobody
a duck.
cares until there's an animal.
Yeah.
If a sugar company was smart, they'd jump right in and go, we'll donate all the sugar you need for those wolves.
Maybe if you made your cabin out of baby wolves, the insurance company would care.
Yeah, that's the other thing is there's a lot of multi-million-dollar cabins about to be burned up. They're not really worth that, but that's what they're insured for.
Sure.
You're saying your VHS player was worth $1,000?
It wasn't 86 when I bought it.
But yeah, so that's the state of Alaska right now. It's that the fishing's a little off because apparently, I guess ash in the water doesn't encourage fish to eat.
Yeah, I guess that would be a kind of a. Well, I mean, they just see it as something on the surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not good at fishing.
I think it screws up the pH balance in the water.
Sure. You know, we were traveling last week. Tracy and I went out to Iowa for a place called Atlantic, Iowa. Look it up.
You'd have to.
You'd have to. We were coming back, and we planned it to hit this one wildlife sanctuary, and then spend the one night in Denver, and then the next day we were going to go to the zoo, and we go down to the zoo, and we got these clouds forming and stuff. It's about 12 noon, about 1 o'clock, and all of a sudden it just starts downpouring, and we're at a park next to the zoo, figuring out, making sure our luggage is ready to go so we can go right to the airport. And all of a sudden, all the buses start pulling out from the zoo. Like, all the kids that had done day camp there or whatever, they're all like, get the fuck out. And that's when the hail started. Golf ball size hail started pelting the rental car we're in. And I'm like, well, if I thought that one crack on the windshield that we got going to Atlantic was going to, hit the insurance, definitely now. It just was like 50 people surrounding the car throwing everything they could grab at the vehicle. So I don't know what to do in a situation like that. I mean, if I drive, I feel like I'm going to be driving into hail the size of golf balls.
That would add speed, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I park under a tree, and then the lightning started. And that thing where you hear that you see the flash, and then you give it like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. To figure out how far away it is. I don't know if that works or not, but we weren't even getting to 2 Mississippi from the flashes. So I'm like, now let's see. Let's review what's happening here. We're in a rental car. It had one crack in the windshield, a little chip in the windshield anyway. Now the car is being pelted with golf ball size hailstones coming down all over.
It
And
looks
now
like Brian Adams' face.
And now we're under a tree, and there's lightning in the vicinity. So then we just sat there. Goes, what can you do? You just fucking sit there and
Just wait for the tree to fall on you.
Exactly. So we waited it out, and then I said, you know what? Fuck this. Let's get like into an underground garage or something like that. Which I don't know if that's good either, because 8 tornadoes touched down in the area we were in.
You did everything wrong.
It was like the perfect storm.
Well, let's just get out of the car, open up some umbrellas.
It was a perfect storm for your rental company.
Let's park under that ladder, back into a mirror.
So what'd they say when you brought the car back?
Well, that was the thing. I was like, shit, my plan of like having a dirty windshield, well, that flew away with being pelted by wind and hail. So didn't do shit. And the car surprisingly didn't have any damage. I have no idea why. I have no idea how it was not like the surface of a golf ball.
What kind of car is it? Remember those old Saturn commercials where there was like 2 kids playing baseball and like just throwing fastballs at the side of a Saturn?
Yeah. Yeah, that it wasn't a Saturn.
Oh.
I think it might have been a Toyota. 4-door. It was nothing. I'm surprised that the windows didn't like shatter. I have a Vine up of what it was like. I of course I don't do anything other than park under a tree, and then turn my video to the situation and hit Vine. But it's loud. It's fucking loud, and like it was like knocking down. All the foliage from the trees was getting stripped off from all the hail coming down. It was pretty insane. I mean, it looked like snow when we were driving on the highway after that.
Yeah, after I saw when you posted that, did you see the hailstorm hit North Dakota in one of those man camps? They call them man camps.
Oh,
for the article kept saying. They're called man camps.
What does that mean?
The oil guys.
The oil
They
guys.
sleep in tents because they don't have enough housing. So they're out there in tents. They got hit with golf ball size hail, and they had nowhere to go. They were just getting beaten.
Yeah, they were the tree. At least I was in a car under the tree. They were the tree standing there.
They were in tents. Yeah.
It was pretty insane. Yeah, I mean, you certainly you have all your shit ready to go when you get to the rental car agency, and as soon as you can sign off, have your shoulder bag on and go, yeah, we're running late. Where's the shuttle? And get ready to go, and then they'll hopefully just push it right through and take it back as close to night as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hail.
It worked.
That's nature's way of telling you to get off stage.
It's the hook.
Am I going over? Yeah.
Ooh.
Drive it to Detroit and just set it on fire.
So we just me and my girlfriend just got back from LA. We were in La Habra. Our home base was Whittier, so we were just around there. Spent some time in your homeland, Fullerton, the old spaghetti factory.
Oh, did you go?
Yeah.
Always a good time.
Also Ruta Bagors.
Ruta Bagors. Yeah, that's over by the Fullerton Museum is right there.
Yeah, we went in there too, man. We hit all the spots.
Did they have the guitar exhibit still?
Yeah.
Bass guitars, I believe.
Yeah. Lots of Fenders and
well, you know why?
I don't.
Fender was manufactured in Fullerton. There's a street called Fender Avenue.
Huh.
I knew that.
Leo Fender had his original workshop in Fullerton.
The old fender bender.
Yeah, we didn't spend as much time in the Fender section. They had a big exhibit on like those paintings from like the 60s and 70s of like little kids with giant eyes.
Okay. I think that's a style of painting, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess the artist's name is Keen. And it was really a creepy exhibit. I got some pictures. It's a good time.
It's like the doe-eyed, like a lot of Japanimation.
Like the Degrassi eyes?
It's just super off-putting, the entire exhibit.
Who
but
is
it's pretty fun.
Keen? K-E-E-N?
Keane. But yeah, we had a good time in Fullerton.
Fullerton's a nice little town. I mean, I don't want to.
That's also where the 3-piece bikini was invented.
What?
The 3-piece bikini?
What's the third piece?
I don't know. I guess a midriff.
Midriff.
It never caught on, but it was still
A handle.
Yeah, they got a museum for that too.
Well, I don't know if you can tell, but my tooth got pulled.
Yeah, I can hear it.
There's there's a little affect because I've got what's known as a flipper.
What does that mean?
A flipper. I found out what a flipper was watching that pageant show for the toddlers called Honey Boo Boo was on. What was that called? I don't fucking know. But the flipper is when these kids they get their baby teeth. When they lose their baby teeth and they're in a pageant, they can't go up there with missing the front teeth.
Because gross, they
they're
look like children.
Because they're little kids.
Yeah, because they got a toddler in a bikini. They certainly can't take away from that by not having front teeth. So
You don't want her to look like a hillbilly.
Yeah, for Miss Hillbilly competition. It's basically like a retainer thing that goes in your mouth and it fills in that gap for where the tooth would have been. And I got to deal with that. And I really didn't know how all this stuff was going to line out. I just thought I was going to get a tooth pulled out and they were going to put an implant in and I was going to have to, give them a bunch of money. I'm hoping, like right now, it's the end of May. I'm hoping if everything goes right, that by March of next year, I will finally have that implant and the tooth attached to the implant in my mouth.
What takes so long?
Well, the bone where they pulled the tooth out, there was only a little bit of bone between the number 5 tooth and the number 6 tooth, so that bone has to rebuild, and it's going to take some time. So it's this flipper is going to be in my mouth for the next 8 months.
They're making new vaginas in Petri dishes, but they can't make a new bone.
It takes a week. It takes a week too.
So, it's insane, and I'm like low man on the totem pole because I only want one tooth. No one gives a fuck about one tooth. They got this huge multi-million-dollar campaign going for this place called Clear Choice. It's a national company that is out there doing these financed like mouth total restructuring surgeries where you go in and it's total like whiz bang. They got computer generated imaging of what it's going to look. Yeah, just smile with those flappy gums, and then it looks like you having your teeth in there and everything. And they won't even talk to me.
Your mouth isn't garbage enough.
No, not at all. That's the sad fact of it is I have to just get one. But I got a guy who he's a guy I know from the haunted house industry whose his real job is he does a rep for one of the most one of the best implant companies in America, and he's actually going to get me a good deal. But his good deal for like a real high end job is basically what it would cost
for a bad deal.
For a bad deal walking in off the street.
Wow.
So it's still going to cost me about $2,000, $3,000 when it's all done.
This is amazing.
For one tooth. Yeah.
Are you? So, what's your? But you're not in pain anymore.
No, have never.
Would you
been
think
in
in
pain.
a year you could have more teeth damage, and then so you'll get the new tooth, and all the rest will be rotting around it?
Well,
so you'll end up with one tooth.
There's no rotten though, Becker. All those years I was in a band. I never went and got my teeth done. I would go if someone knew someone and they could get me in on something. Then I'd go. And then 2 years ago, when Kimmy was going through her boards to try and get her license for a dental technician, they were going to clean my teeth, and then they ended up not doing it. I just had to walk off the street to a dentist in Seattle who did it for $100. That was the first time my teeth got cleaned in like 7 years. And even this guy was like, "Wow, what's wrong with your teeth?" They had no idea. But I'm talking. It's like it's the scam, right? Oh. When something's bad, go in and get it taken care of. But this time it was bad. There was some trauma to that tooth that caused it to crack a little bit, and then the temporary filling I got done in Jacksonville ended up kind of cleaving it wide open.
It's that gummy bear tour you went on. They eat a lot of the soft candies. I know this.
So I've started going to like a regular dentist now, getting my teeth cleaned and stuff. Because I went like 2 or 3 years without getting them cleaned. So now I'm trying to get back on track. And the dentist, I never got my wisdom teeth pulled, and she's like, "Oh, well, we should probably pull those." And I was like, "Oh, they don't bother me or anything though." She's like, "Yeah, but what if they do someday?" I like to be proactive about it. Like, I bet you like to be proactive about it because it's going to cost $3,000.
Wow, you got the old cold call there. That's I said. If you don't go and tell them you don't have insurance, they go, "You're good."
Or tell them you already had them out. What are they gonna do? Are any of them impacted or sideways or anything?
No, I think they're a little messed up, but they're fine. They fit in there.
Well, I mean, if they're growing in sideways or they're somehow affecting the back molars, then there's a reason.
Yeah.
And they like to pull them out for two reasons.
No, she definitely said they might be fine now, but they might not be.
But I mean, John, it's not like you're 18 and you're drinking like 7 glasses of milk a day, and then all of a sudden these things are going to just pop in.
I'm drinking 10 glasses of milk a day because I still like to think I'm very young and healthy.
Because you still have $3,000.
I do the gallon challenge every day. Just chug a gallon of milk and I throw up all over my kitchen.
Well, that you should be fine. I mean, I'm not a doctor and certainly not a dentist, but every week that I've been in Bisbee since we got off tour, I've gone at least to the dentist once. So that's a lot of dentist chair time.
A lot of dentists.
I've made up for it. So I don't know why they would say you have to have them pulled out if they're not causing a problem.
Do you know what?
I know. I bet Becker has a theory.
Yeah. No. My theory is that they basically have to create every time you've ever gotten your teeth cleaned. Usually, like you go, I haven't done it in 10 years, and then you go get it done. I went in and had it done in town here. I hadn't done it forever. And the lady took 4 x-rays because they needed 2, but she screwed 2 up. And then the guy goes, well, you got 4 x-rays, I guess, huh? The dentist, because, they have the technician do it.
Yeah.
And they go, well, it's going to be $280 an x-ray. And I go, why'd I get 4? He goes, I don't know. Did you tell her you wanted 4? Oh yeah, $280 a piece. I guarantee it. What happened was, and it turns out later, this all.
Do you guys have a limit on X-rays I can get?
So Becky's parents said, well, we'll pay for the cleaning. So they go to the cleaning. Well, they weren't paying for the other part. So I go, well, so they go, your teeth are great. And they actually brought people over. Wow, for a guy who uses chewing tobacco and everything, your teeth are great. Your gums are healthy. Everything's great. And then they hit me with this bill for goddamn a fortune. And I'm like going, what? It was a teeth cleaning, you psychos. And you know what they ended up saying? Well, she screwed 2 up and she didn't know what to do. So she just put them on there. So I go, then I want 4 clear pictures of my teeth. And they go, we don't have 4. She threw 2 away. And they wanted me to pay. And I did. I had to pay. They said, we'll send it to collections. I go, wait, you're admitting that she screwed it up and I still, he goes, well, they took the x-rays. What do you want us to do? Eat it? I go, you're just a scam. But I think the biggest problem people have is they don't realize popcorn. Popcorn is what will ruin your life.
Yeah, quit eating
the
popcorn.
Kernels of popcorn will go down inside, and that's what causes all the
like
root canals.
That skin of the kernel.
Yeah, when you eat it old made, you go, oh, that's soft. I love crunching on these.
Yeah.
The only 2 times I've ever had any kind of inflammation in my teeth, I've taken, because I have the whole dental set myself and a mirror, and I'm left-handed, so I can do this. I go in there, I dug, and all of a sudden I went, wow, because we have it at the bar, So I'm eating popcorn, and I'm going, what the fuck is this? My tooth's all swollen up. I went in and dug around the side underneath the gum line, and what do you know? Popcorn kernel. Another time, about a year later, I go, wow, I remember last time I went dug in there. Guess what? Popcorn kernel. So I'm telling
it's like
people,
your little stash.
they need to come up with
stash.
a seedless popcorn, is what I'm saying.
Quit. You got to quit that popcorn, people.
So,
or just eat it fresh. Don't wait to pop
but
it.
that's really what it was every time. And those kernels will go down in there. And then, of course, you have a foreign object in there. And then it gets infected. And then it swells up. And then and then they threaten they always tell you could die. This could abscess. You could die.
Yeah.
Or you could dig in there yourself and relieve the pressure. And then you won't die.
But you're the only guy I know, Becker, who has a full set of dental implements.
You can buy them online.
And the key stuff. You got to remember. I had that one thing I couldn't get open. That thing that had a lock on it.
Full pick set. Yeah.
What it was. Yeah, you got a full pick set.
Oh yeah, I could open anything.
If you're picking at something, it doesn't matter what. Call
you
Becker.
know what I've learned though? I've learned over the years because this happened. It started with Durant at the bar one time when I first came up there. He goes, oh, the sound booth is locked and we can't get in it and the sound guy's sick. And I go, do you need in it? And he goes, yeah. So I walked up, took my pick set out, went, pop, there you go. And then it dawned on me, he goes, can you open all the locks like that? So at that point, you're going, anytime something's missing, they go, I bet he did it. Fuck you. Yeah. I helped you out, you prick. I opened up Bart's car. I go out and open Bart's car in 5 seconds because he locked his keys in it. I went, his dog was in it. I go, boom, there you go. And Bart looks at me weird. And I've known Bart forever. He goes, dude, don't ever do that again, huh? I'm like, I'm helping you, you prick. Sure beats a
You came
cabbie
to
sticking a
me.
piece of metal down your trim.
People don't always trust the superheroes, you know? They
No,
can't
that's
trust
what
them.
I
They're
realized.
afraid of their power.
So, John, as much as I want to help you with your dental problems, screw off. You're not using my dental
Thanks
set.
this time, but don't go picking around in there anymore, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate that little popcorn thing, but no.
Hey, John, while you were in L.A., did you get to do any comedy, or did you go to any comedy clubs?
I didn't do any open mics, but I did see a bunch of comedy. I went to the Nerdist theater, the Meltdown Theater, and saw
Chris
Chris
Hardwick?
Hardwick,
Is that-
very funny.
Yeah.
Mike Kaplan and Matt Bronger, who was awesome. I guess he was getting ready for a new special, which sounds like it's going to be awesome.
Mike Kaplan spells his name like M-Y-Q. or
MYQ,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been saying it wrong this whole time. And then I went to UCB and saw the weekly comedy show there, and that was good. Joe DeRosa, very funny.
I think he came up to Coots.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's great.
Joe DeRosa. Yeah, I think he's friends with Sam Tripoli, who's up there right now.
Sam Tripoli's here now.
Saw
Yeah.
him last night. Very, very funny. Weird crowd, but he did great.
But anyway, so L.A., you did the comedy thing. What else?
I think that was about it. We thought about doing some open mics, but I had such a draining experience. I just decided to not do that.
What was the draining experience?
Open mic last time I was down there.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the waiting long lines for the last two people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just decided to just live our lives and have fun. I think the most memorable thing was we rented a boat. Stephanie really wanted to rent a boat, and I was really against it
In Los
because
Angeles.
I thought we went to Newport.
Okay, the Newport, like Balboa.
Yeah, Balboa. And I thought like renting a boat. I was like renting a car was a pain in the ass. Renting a boat, like I don't even know how to drive a boat.
Yeah.
So I was against it, but I was like, fine, we'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go. We'll do it. We'll just do it. And they'll be like, no, you can't rent a boat. And we'll be like, fine, we'll go do something else. So we get down there, and I expected to walk into like an old salty like fishing shop or something, and have a bunch of old guys be like, you can't take my boat out. But instead, they're just like, you ever been in a boat? We're like, yeah, one time. Like, all right, here you go, have fun.
Yeah.
Talk about insurance.
Yeah, it was the most insane thing. It was really strange, but it was fun. We got to just
It's also, they're letting you have the keys to a boat, and now you answered yes, you'd been in a boat, but they didn't say have you ever piloted a boat.
No.
Now you're out in the water where, like, if you were on land driving a car, it's like you're driving around Hummers everywhere. Everyone's got a boat. There's $1 million boats in the Back Bay Harbor.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere you look.
The boat was just huge and full of all these boats, and like they didn't say like they said don't go under these bridges. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could just like pull up to like these $1 million homes and boats and just like walk around on other people's boats and stuff and steal stuff.
They'll give you like an area like if you see this one bridge, you're not supposed to go further than that. Turn around and come back and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
And there's like other boats like coming and going, and we're like in the way, and I'm like putting it in reverse and then like getting stuck and going forward again. It's
like you're at Costco trying to find a parking spot.
oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
but
mess,
they're
but
real
it's-
boats. They know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they must be extremely patient because like every day there's got to be tons of people who've never driven a boat
Yeah.
just like running into buoys and stuff.
Well, did they give you any kind of like you want to pass on the right, you want to stay this side? I mean, did they give you any
No.
kind of cursory boating
just said-
information? Did you have to
they said
tie
you
a
have the
sheep
right of
shank,
way.
or did you have to do a bowline or anything? Nothing.
Hey,
No
you and
knots.
Natalie Wood, bring it back with a full tank of gas.
Parkade, like, didn't you have a girl with you? Nope, just me.
He does it every week.
But it was a really good time. We snuck a bottle of wine on there. They didn't even say no drinking, so we were sneaking wine. We could have been drinking it openly. We weren't sure.
Well, you know, the rule with boating and drinking is the pilot is not supposed to drink,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
like
that's what we did then. We didn't. Yeah,
it's like saying the passengers in a car can drink as long as the driver's not.
Yeah.
Does that really how far does that
Sure.
go? It's there. We're all gonna drink.
but it ended up for like me, like really not wanting to do it at all. I had a great time.
No, your plan was flawless up until the point where they probably make more money on boats getting ruined
True.
than just renting them. They're wanting.
there
No
was
way,
a-
not hail.
And there was one point where there was like a sea lion, like a big fat sea lion, just hanging out on a beat up old like sailboat, a dinghy.
Yeah.
And so we were just trying to get like really close to it, and like, now we're nudging it. Now I'm hitting boats.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, John.
It was a good time. I recommend it. Rent a boat.
Who'd
Take
you
the
rent the car
opportunity.
from? Who'd you rent the car from?
Budget.
Budget?
Oh, that's right. You'd never rented a car before.
No, and it was paid like $230 for
For a week?
like 10 days.
Oh, that's good.
That's not bad at all.
But like you doubled
Yeah.
down. You went and rented a car, and then you said
A car
let's,
and a
let's
boat."
get a boat, maybe a plane.
Fuck it, helicopter.
Yeah, a mosquito.
They rent jetpacks around here.
you know what? Someday they're going to have that self-flying helicopters, and you'll just get in and it'll fly you around without any pilot. You can make sweet, sweet love over the city.
I'm gonna
It's
go.
true.
I'm gonna go to San Francisco and go rent a Google car so we can go have sex in a Google
Did you
car.
see
I think
that?
that's our next.
There's
our
no
next
way there's
vacation.
not cameras in there.
Yeah, really.
That's whatever.
It's all-
easier. I don't have to set up my own webcam.
I mean, basically, it's going to look like the People Mover from Disneyland. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old People Mover, but it was just basically like a box with 4 wheels on it, and it would move you around through these scenes through the park. And I saw the Google car, the picture of it, and when they said that it doesn't have a picture of the inside, but they said there's no steering column, there's no brake, there's no gas, and it's basically just this pod that will drive you around.
You know what? They come out with these drivable cars. This is going to be a boondoggle in the bar industry.
Why? Oh,
Well, I mean, I don't know. They're trying to hanker down and go, well, what if we have a car that just drives you? And all the cabbies that are going to lose their minds.
Yeah.
We're going to have more foreign guys not knowing how to rip anybody off. They're going to be like, $10 to get in Google car. No, fuck off.
they'll have to go back to psychic readings and pickpocketing.
Google car. I'll take you by freeway. No, it's not on the freeway. Don't go on the freeway. Don't go on the freeway.
I'll tell you, there's no reason to rent a car if you got that Uber going on. I suggest you checking that out next time you're in LA, Becker, because I know you stay for a long time, and really, if you just have to pop around to place, the Uber car in Los Angeles is perfect because there's always going to be someone near you. Now, if you go to Atlantic, Iowa, you could be
Right.
waiting a while.
They got to drive from LA.
Yeah,
They're on their way.
46 hours, and your Google car will be there.
Yeah, that's that rent a bike thing too. They got.
Yeah, those are
They got
popping up
that now.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Becker, I know you know. John, do you know what he's talking about?
No.
It's these bikes where they're like the front wheels put. Fullerton has them.
Oh, like the
Uh-huh.
city, the
city
city
bike.
bikes
Yeah.
in New York. Yeah.
Well, they're everywhere. What were you saying, Becker?
Mm-hmm. No, but they're brilliant as far as it goes. I mean, that's going to because I mean, you can just grab a bike, shoot wherever you're going, and if the weather turns bad, you can take a cab back.
Yeah.
You're not stuck with the bike. That was the problem with the original bike rental. You got halfway as far as you want to go in whatever city you're in, and you go, I'm not going back up that hill in San Francisco. I go, guess what? Your rental bike's at the bottom of the hill.
And at the top of the hill, there's no rental bikes. At the bottom of the hill, there's a million. But it's a good idea, and they had one in Omaha as well. And Fullerton has a system right over there by the museum in the downtown Fullerton. Yeah,
Did not see that. We would have rented some bikes.
yeah. And of course,
Yeah, you're too busy
Seattle.
boating.
Too busy boating. Yeah, we boated, and then the other thing we did was we just ate lots of fast food burritos. So
Like hold
On,
on. Fast food burritos or like taqueria, like just stands.
taqueria, but now they're all kind of like fast food. They're all because they all realize like nobody wants to walk in, so they're all 24-hour drive-through. But in La Habra and Whittier,
Yeah.
where my family lives, my go-to place is Mocha Salsa.
Okay.
And they're amazing, and it's like a giant carne asada burrito, the best tortillas in the world.
But when you
And
say
they're like-
fast food, I'm thinking Del Taco or
Well, I mean, we went to Del Taco too, but
that's a
because you got to.
that's
Did you rent a
regional.
convertible?
So Mocha.
Mocha Salsa.
Mocha Salsa.
That's the place. They're dirt cheap, 24 hours a day. It's the only way to
I
go.
wonder how they do it. They must not pay labor.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all unemployed from the sriracha factory. We'll do anything.
So now, I think this weekend we're gonna do a juice cleanse. I wanted to ask you about this, Greg, because you have juiced.
Yes, quite a bit.
Have you done a cleanse?
Tell
do
me
you
the
just juice?
I've tried to go as long as I could just drinking juice, and there's two different ways to do it. One is to stick to it, and the other is to cheat. And I went, I think, 3 days before I had, but then it was around the holidays, and we went to a party, so I ate some of the stuff that they had there.
So I think we're gonna do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I don't know how.
What kind of juicer do you have?
I'm gonna go get one today.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of juicer.
It's got to say Vita in it. It's got to have Vita in it at some point.
The thing with the Vitamix, though, is I think the base model is $400.
Yeah,
he's returning it in 3 days.
Didn't you hear him?
I didn't like it.
He's done on Monday. He's going to return.
They ground up an iPad, for God's sake.
The Vitamix will take whatever you put in it and pulverize it to where you get seeds, skin, stems, everything, and you're going to consume all of that bulk as well as the juice mixed in with it. If you get like the Jack LaLanne juicer, which I think
we're going for the juicer.
That's $100, and that basically is gonna you're gonna have a lot of waste from that, which is the pulverized plant fiber, and that is actually really good for you. That fiber is something you need anyway. So if you're just doing juice, you're gonna have to buy more product to put in there, obviously. And it's easier to take down than the bulky stuff, because the bulky stuff, if you don't drink it right away, it'll rise to the top, and then you got to bust through that little pulpy layer. But if you just go for it, I mean, you will be cleaned out for sure in 3 days.
Costa Rica pineapples are currently $5 at Costco.
See right there.
We're gonna have to go to Costco and do. We're gonna buy 20 pounds of kale.
I'll tell you what your friends are. Your friends are. Obviously, kale, you want to get that in there, but your friends are going to be a cayenne pepper, and if
blueberries
are good too. The pineapple is sweet as well. That'll add a lot of sweet.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Cayenne pepper and fresh ginger. Those two things will help. You use them sparingly, but they'll help add a little flavor, especially on the juice. Just the juice by itself. That cayenne pepper and the ginger will take away from that green kale, that grass clippings taste, which you'll develop a taste for it. But that's what I suggest. Make sure you get like a big root of ginger and just cut up a little chunk of that and throw it in to taste.
Yeah, fresh ginger is amazing.
And to get the scraping, to scrape it off, you can just use like a knife.
I just use a spoon. I cook with it a lot, so it's
same thing.
I got ginger
that raw ginger in there, man, it'll really change the taste of that shake. So good. I look forward to hearing about it.
Are you going to put fish in there?
I'll totally put some fish in there. Those omega-3s.
Yeah. Get some salmon.
So, I guess I'll have an update next week on how that goes.
Doing a podcast from a bathroom.
Yeah.
Or, the toilet on an open-air boat. John's got the fever.
Got my yacht shoes on, and I'm never taking them off.
So you're just going to do juice, 3 times a day?
Or, I don't know, 10 times a day.
You can do it as much as you want. Yeah. I mean, you got to realize you're taking in a lot of sugar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and be careful with the juice that you add to the mix, because you put all the vegetables in the mixer.
I'm going mostly vegetables.
Okay. But you're going to add either water or you're going to add some kind of juice with it. Now, you got to be careful because you can end up adding even more sugar if you put orange juice or something. One thing Doug uses up here is they use the Mott's for Tots. It's a 1/3 less sugar in apple juice, and that's one way of getting a little bit more juice, a little more flavor, and not as much sugar.
Or you can boil the apple juice, and it reduces the sugar because it'll crystallize on the bottom, and then you can pour it in there.
Really? Mm-hmm. Becker, you amaze me.
Right. Or I get the apple juice, I throw some yeast in there, let that hang out for a few days, get drunk.
There you go.
That's it.
Here we go. Yeah. All right, does anyone have anything else? We're about at that time.
Other than the state's on fire and cabins are going cheap. Remember, because now here the problem with the fires is that now you have a lot of cabins that used to be in nice wooded areas. They're now sitting right out in the open in a mud field.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, that's really nice. That's
perfect place for a coffee stand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I guess there's no cover now for them to be back in the woods, right?
So if you're looking for a cheap cabin, now would be the time.
All right. Well, this is Near the Wild. I'm John Norris from Anchorage, Alaska.
I'm Matt Becker in Anchorage, Alaska.
And I'm Greg Chaille in Bisbee, Arizona.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Mat Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Mat Becker's backyard bus. Engineered by me, Greg Chaille.